If these women want to play ball, they might get tackled. If you're working with these women and they want to work in a work environment that's a manly work environment, men getting shit done, building stuff, breaking stuff, and making empires, then they ought to be able to roll with the punches.
Yo, Elliot.
Yo, Elliot, I continue to notice that there are more and more women in the work environment. And the women around my age of 20, they're not really mature women. In September, I start at university. I want to take the lead in the projects, but I don't know if I'll be able to work with women. I want to get things done, but I'm afraid that the women I have to work with won't be as driven and serious as I am. I can be ruthless when it comes to saying what I think about someone's performance. I'll go all in when I need to tell a man, but not so much with a woman. I don't think it's very gentlemanly-like of me when I go all in on a woman. My question is how to best work with women. So in my opinion, there's no reason to be gentlemanly-like with a bunch of women who are not being feminine, right? And so if these women want to play ball, they might get tackled. If you're working with these women and they want to work in a work environment that's a manly work environment, men getting shit done, building stuff, breaking stuff, and making empires, then they ought to be able to roll with the punches. Just like when we were kids. Do you remember when we were kids, we would play like football, right? Boys would play football. I remember playing football. We would just tackle the shit out of each other. We have a grand old time, me and the boys in the neighborhood playing football and knocking each other out. But then come along the girl, right? And the girl is cute, so you make accommodations for her. She's cute. Oh, she wants to play with us, but nobody's going to tackle the girl like they tackle the boys. You're going to hold back just a little bit. Oh, it's a girl. And then you know what? You got this one kid that was just like, he's so based that when the girl gets the ball, he just bang, knocks the shit out of her, right? And then she wants to start crying, and the other boys call him a tyrant. Well, that's okay when you guys are kids, but when we like working in the real world, when the bottom line is at hand and men belong in the workplace and women have invaded, they gonna get treated like men, right? You wanna be here with the big boys? You wanna do the things that the boys are doing? You wanna hang with the men? Well, you're gonna get treated like a man. And I tell you this, if you treat this woman like you would treat the other men, the women that see you treating her that way will be turned on. Because they realize this guy's no simp. He's no pushover. He's not going to accommodate for this inferior man, because that's what women are playing. They're playing this game of being inferior men rather than being superior women at home making babies, raising their families, and being good wives. They out there trying to compete, right? And the fact that you're in university, and university nowadays is like 90% women, you're gonna be dealing with all these insufferable bitches that think they smart and they're well-deserving and they're strong and they're independent and they're gonna try to flex their muscle on you. Either that or they're gonna Me Too you, and you gotta stand firm. You gotta say, no, I'm not putting up with you. I'm not dealing with you. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if your feelings were hurt. I don't care if you're on your period. Oh, you're pregnant? Go home. Right? That's just the way it should be, right? Why do we have to accommodate for the lowest common denominator? Why do we have to draw ourselves back in a, listen, the business world is like the battlefield these days, right? We're not really fighting real wars. The entrepreneur is the new warrior. And if we're out there building businesses, we're stretching the bottom line. We're expanding our product line. We're doing a whole lot, but you getting in my way, you whining, you crying. And here's the other thing with women these days, right? Because of feminism, you can't say nothing to them without it turning into Me Too, right? So as far as working with women, there's a trend. There's a new trend I've noticed, and I started hearing about it and reading about it, where men will not work with women because feminism has made it such, and the Me Too movement has made it such that if you're alone with a woman, she could say anything she wants about what you did or said to her. So a lot of guys, what they're doing, I heard this about on Wall Street, they won't take trips with women, right? They won't be alone on a flight with a woman. They won't be alone in a hotel with a woman. They won't be alone in the office with a woman. They always would invite more, or they just don't invite the women. The women are not being invited anymore because they're behaving badly, right? Or if you're with a woman, one of the things you should do is have a microphone, have something recording the whole conversation, right? Hey, you're a woman. You want to be a big boy. You want to come work with me, but they have that, they have that ability to be believed, right? Believe all women, right? Which is a lie. They don't believe all women. They don't believe all women when they're telling the truth, right? But they want to believe all women when it will make men look bad. Believe all women. Okay, believe all women. Guess what? Believe this, you ain't hanging out with me unless I got a tape recorder in the room. You're not hanging out with me unless I have this iPad recording us from the corner and the tripod, right? This is what men are doing. They're not allowing themselves to be alone with women, and it's a good idea. In fact, I started taking my daughters to a soccer clinic, a soccer coach, right? Soccer coach, because my daughters are playing soccer. I think it's good for women to be in athletics. They should be in shape. My wife lifts, right? So I get my daughters involved with sports, not so that they can compete with men and try to be boys like these girls who put on helmets and want to play football with boys. Those girls should get smashed. Stay in your lane. But I take them to soccer practice, and you know, the soccer practice is young coach. He reminds me of myself when I was first starting out. He's at a little warehouse gym, real small place. It's just him in there. You know what? He has a policy. He says, I will not stay in here with your daughter alone. He says, by no means ever do I allow myself to be alone with a girl in this warehouse, right? I remember when I started strength camp, I have a couple little girl clients, you know, teenage girls, high school girl clients, and their parents would drop them off, and I would do some workouts with them, and they would go home, right? I thought nothing of it, right? This was back in like 2008. But this guy, he's smart. He's like, no, you can't drop your daughter off. You have to stay here. The only way you could drop your daughter off is if there's a group, if there's a large group and they can all see. And it's better that the large group also has boys in it, right? This is what he says. And I don't blame him for that. He's right. He's right. If you're going to be around women, you better not be alone with them. You better bring another man, preferably another man, but it should be more than one. There should be more than one if you're ever going to be alone with these women in the workplace, bro, because they're ruining it for everybody. And so I wish you the best. I wouldn't want to be in your situation, right? I will much rather work with men and then come home to my wife. I love women. I really do. I love my wife. I love my daughters, but I want to come home to them. I want my wife to be at home, being a homemaker, right? I don't want to work with my wife in the office, right? I don't want to be out there competing with her for sales, right? I want to go do that. That's what men go do. Part of the problem with the lack of polarity in this sexual generation right now is because women do what men do, so men have nothing to offer women. We really don't. They don't need us anymore. It was good when we needed each other, but they don't need us, right? We need them if we want babies, right? And they need us too. But as far as lifestyle is concerned, they don't need us. So you know what men become? Disposable. We're disposable. I think there needs to be a movement, plenty of movements. I love this idea of movements, that things are changing. But most of my ideas are a reversion to tradition. I think we need to go back to tradition. And as shit hits the fan and things get harder, we will go back to tradition. Women will go back to their homes. They will go back to their homes when things start getting really tough out there, because men protect the border. Men work outside. Men are on the outskirts. Women are in the inskirts. Women are in skirts. They're in the home, right? That's where they belong. They don't belong racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt at university for some bullshit job, middle management telling a bunch of simps what to do, right? It's unbecoming, and it's unnecessary. Men can do it, and there will be a time when women will be valued for what they do best: relationships, family, children, home, nurturing, right? These are beautiful things. These are great things. There's nothing oppressive about it. And that way men can go and do what we do best, which is work, right? Stop getting in our way. Stay home. Done.
Yo, it's your bro Elliot. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you ought to know that it was a clip from one of my most recent King Transformation classes with my students, where, among other things, we get together about 4 or 5 hours a week and we speak on things as it relates to becoming kings in our lives in fitness, business, and with women. If that sounds like you and you want to join a like-minded group of men who are growing stronger every day in every way in this degenerate age, then it's real simple. Just follow me on Instagram and then DM me the word king, K-I-N-G, and then me and my team will get back to the details to see if you qualify. I really hope to see you at the next meeting. Done.